bought an iPhone off of Amazon Renewed, and you might call me an idiot, but hear me out. So in case you guys don't know what Amazon Renewed is, it's basically Amazon's storefront where they sell refurbished products. And as you know, with refurbished products, you can actually get a pretty reasonable discount rather than just going out and buying a new device. So for an Amazon Renewed product, they actually classified it under 4 categories. The first one being premium, second being excellent, third being good, and the fourth one being acceptable. Which I don't know who would want an acceptable iPhone, but that is an option. Now for this video, we didn't go for third-party seller. We bought this phone directly from Amazon themselves. But today's product that we actually decided to buy was an iPhone 13 mini. Now you might be looking at me crazy, calm down, but what's surprising is the iPhone 13 mini is actually fairly popular. In fact, 500 plus people have bought an iPhone 13 mini in the past month. And speaking of being bought, guess what? Our package is here. Package secured. This is the box that it came in. It was ultra small, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, you'll see in the packaging that if we had to rate this packaging on a scale from an A to an F, this was probably an F. So once again, after opening the box, this is what we got. Our phone is in this box, and it was wrapped around in this paper packaging, which is kind of interesting. So now taking a look into the inside of our packaging, you'll see this is where our iPhone 13 mini is, and it's actually strapped to this cardboard in plastic. Not necessarily the most secure thing. And let's see what else we get inside this box besides the phone. We get a cheap lightning cable, which is kind of expected. So I've pretty much been analyzing the device to see the type of condition it is in. And at first I looked at the body. Now I did notice that there was a couple of tiny little paint nicks beneath the camera lens, and it's not really visible on camera. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but I'm able to see it with my eye. And then there's another paint nick right here above the volume up rocker. But aside of that, there's not really any cosmetic damage to the body. Typically, you'll see cosmetic damage on refurbished phones right here where the charging port is, but it's actually pretty clean. And now we move on to the display. And I gotta be honest, I think the display is fine. I did notice maybe one minor scratch right here, but it's very noticeable only if you put a camera to it. And then there's also a slight blemish in this corner right here, which was kind of surprising because at first I didn't notice it until I put a light to it to inspect it. But you'll notice that it's a little bit darker than the rest of the display. All right, so now that we have our 13 mini set up, there's a couple of things that I'm obviously worried about, because first of all, whenever you buy a refurbished iPhone, you always take a risk of the screen not being a genuine display, because you can obviously go out and buy a cheap aftermarket LCD to place on these devices. But I was pleasantly surprised to learn that yes, this is a genuine Apple OLED display. The thing I wanted to test was the battery health, and Amazon guarantees that you'll give above an 80% battery health for their excellent condition, which honestly, I don't know, in my opinion, I don't think that's a good deal or not, because 80% is just too close to a battery replacement. We have an 84% battery health on our iPhone 13 mini, which to be honest, on a phone like this is pretty bad, but it's above 80%. So another problem that you usually see on refurbished phones is the fact that they'll mark it as unlocked, but sometimes they'll be locked to a carrier. Once again, on this phone, there are no SIM restrictions, so we can use it with any carrier. And next, I wanted to test the speakers to make sure they weren't muffled and didn't sound terrible. And well, they sound excellent. They sound perfectly fine. In fact, call me an idiot, but hear me out. So the M1 iPad, and yeah, they work. And I guess my final test was to make sure that the cameras worked properly. Here is the back camera test on our iPhone 13 mini. Honestly, the video quality on the 13 mini is pretty good, and these look like the actual genuine Apple cameras. Doesn't seem like they've been replaced. And then once again, we're swapping to the front cameras of the iPhone 13 mini, and yeah, they look genuine. They don't look fake at all. All right, so should you buy an iPhone from Amazon Renewed? Now the iPhone we did buy was in excellent condition, and technically Amazon does have another tier, which is Renewed Premium, which is basically cosmetically the device is like new, and it has above a 90% battery health. But for the purpose of this video, the most bought iPhones off of Amazon are in excellent condition, so that's the phone that we went with. As you can see, this phone basically checked off every bullet point that Amazon gave us, and the battery life was sitting above 80%. Now, a quick disclaimer I do want to put is this phone is shipped and sold by Amazon. I didn't buy this from a third-party seller. And the main reason I avoided buying from a third-party seller is the fact that these sellers also exist on eBay, and I've seen them before, and it's so easy to fabricate views just to boost your stars on Amazon. And obviously, they're going to do it to make themselves look good, but I think if you're planning on buying from Amazon Renewed, I would just buy from Amazon themselves. Now, keep in mind, when buying an iPhone from Amazon Renewed, you also do have 90 days to return the product, or you can exchange it for a new one. So I think if you are buying from Amazon Renewed, obviously you have stuff to consider: the battery health, cosmetics, and of course that discount. But anyways, that is it for this video. And if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more stuff like this, make sure you hit the like button. And if you hated it, you can always leave a hate comment to help out the algorithm. And let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this. Perhaps I buy an iPhone in every condition that Amazon has. Anyways, that is it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.